All right, cool. Let's rock and roll so we can get this in and out and everybody can get back to their evening and do whatever they got to do to get ready for the week, because we are now doing our team calls on Sunday. It works a little bit better for our schedule, and it's a way for us to kind of set that focus and that intention for the week and kick off Monday morning with focus and going into the week strong, right? To kind of dial everything back in and refocus what our intentions and our goals are. Which is perfect because tonight we're talking about creating your 2019 vision board, and really dialing in what your goals are for this year, you guys. The vision board can have long-term goals on it, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit more, but it's really what we're going to focus on working towards over the next 12 months. And creating a board to visualize, because manifesting and visualizing our goals helps us to take action and keep focused when life is happening and things are a little crazy, and we tend to get pulled in every direction. Because you guys, whenever you decide to make a change in life, to push for big goals, to step outside of your comfort zone a little bit, life is going to throw a lot of ish at you, and you're going to feel like, can I really take one more thing on? Like, can I really bear this load? And I want you to know, even if you are not a woman of God and you're not very faith-based, which I think most of us are, He only gives us what we can carry. Okay, you are strong. This season is helping you to grow into the person that you're becoming. Okay, so just keep that in the back of your mind. And I'm going to share a story with you. This is kind of just popped in my head as I was getting ready to come on this call. I want to share a quick little story with you about manifesting, because many of us look at top coaches in the business and people who are very successful, like Gary Vee and Rachel Hollis and all these people who we follow for personal development, that they've started from somewhere and grown, right? They started at zero, or they started in a really bad place and they've grown to the person that they are now. And so many people talk about how they journal their goals every single day. They do vision boards and they visualize. They hang pictures all over their house, in their mirrors. They speak positive words of affirmation over themselves, and they visualize and manifest daily what they are working towards to keep themselves focused. Now, we know, because we're in the health and fitness industry, that is not going to happen overnight. Like, you're not going to snap your fingers and, hey, I made my vision board, so why isn't it here? Okay, we have to be patient, and we have to understand that we also have to be grateful for where we are right now. Okay, why would the universe ever bring us more if we're not grateful for where we are right now? Even if it's where we don't want to be, there are things in your life that are blessings and that we should be grateful for. Okay, so remember to know that you're in the season that you're in for a reason. And so this is kind of a sad story of manifestation, but it popped in my head, and it's something that I've thought about a little bit here and then. I've talked with PJ about it, and I feel like it could really bring things together. Now, we're talking about manifesting things in a positive note, but my sister-in-law has been with the same guy for several years, and his mom recently passed away from cancer. Now, she got sick about 2 years ago. She really shouldn't have made it, but she did by the grace of God, and they did some holistic healing, and she did really well. And the last few months, she really went downhill. She just was not doing well. She couldn't gain weight, and she was getting really sick. And she ended up getting septic and dying in the hospital less than a month ago, maybe a month ago now. But after she passed away, they found letters from her from the past 5 years of her saying, I know I'm going to die early. Everyone in my family has died early. I know she never even had cancer at that time. Like, this has just happened in the last 2 years. I know I'm going to get cancer. I know that I'm going to leave my family. And she was already planning and saving money and stashing things to leave for her family. You guys, she was manifesting her future. Like that came to fruition because she poured all of her energy into that. And not that I'm saying that that's what you're doing, but if you're manifesting, I suck, I'm never going to become a good leader, I can't lose weight, I can't ever follow through and stick to a program, I can never stick to my nutrition plan, I always, something always happens, it's too hard because life is busy, it's too hard because work is crazy, life always throws things at me. If we're always telling ourselves that and we're always manifesting those negative thoughts, that's what we're going to continue to see. And that's what we're going to continue to get back because we're being ungrateful and we're focusing on the lack instead of focusing on the abundance and all the wonderful, wonderful things that we have and all the wonderful things that each of us are capable of, right? So stop manifesting the bullshit story you've been telling yourself and start manifesting what you know you're really capable of. Okay? So with that said, I am going to screen share and we are going to go over, I actually shared it in the team pages earlier today. I went over creating your 2019 vision board so you girls can very easily print this off. You can look at it on your screen and answer these questions. We are not going to do this together right now, but I kind of just wanted to go over what we're talking about with each of the questions. And then if you haven't started it, I encourage you to get started with this ASAP and to have it finished in the next couple of days. I also encourage you to share it with the entire team or myself or Leanne. Share it with somebody that scares you a little bit. I sent mine to Meg and I sent mine to Leanne because I know that they're going to hold me accountable. Right? I know that they're going to be like, hey, you said you wanted X, Y, and Z, so you need to start showing up, right? So share it with somebody that you know is going to remind you lovingly, but remind you that, hey, you wanted to work towards X, Y, and Z, okay? Hold on just a second. Somebody got it. Okay, so creating your 2019 vision board. So part number 1 is thinking about how do you want to be remembered when you're gone? We don't want to think about death, but it's inevitable that all of us are going to pass at some point, hopefully in really far away from right now, right? Because we're all healthy and happy, beautiful women, but it's inevitable. So what do you want to be remembered as? Because for me, I used to be so concerned with, is the laundry done? Is the laundry put away? Is the house perfect? Are the toys put away? Is everything spick and span? And I would take time away from my family and my children to make sure everything was just right. Nobody's really going to care if my toilets were cleaned, if the laundry was put away. That's not really impacting anybody. Yes, it makes me happy and it keeps me sane. But there are things in life that we want to be remembered for, right? There are things in life that we want to inspire others or to be that person for others that they can come to, that you are a loyal friend, that you are a dedicated wife and mother, that you lived in the moment. What are those things that you want to be remembered? What is the legacy that you want to leave behind? Okay. And that's going to kind of start your thought process. Okay. Is what is your legacy going to be? And then part 2 is starting to identify what's important to you, okay? Because there are 10,000 things pulling all of us every single day in multiple different directions, right? So we need to really focus on what are our priorities in life. What do we value? What's most important to us? Because our goals need to align with the things that are most important to us, okay? So the number 1 question is, what do you value in life right now? What's important to you? And then the next question is, what are your top 3 priorities? Okay. So now we're going to start going into the questions that are actually going to help us to identify our goals and help kind of list things out. I personally answered these questions, and then when it got to the goal category, I just started listing them. Okay. So it doesn't have to be super fancy. So if time and resources were no longer an issue, how would you live your life? If Money wasn't an issue. You had all the time in the world. You didn't have to worry about going to work. You didn't have to worry about all the stresses in life. What would you do? Like, how would you live your life? What dreams would you go after? Who would you spend your time with and why? What would you be doing with those people? Where would you go? What would you do? How would it feel? What would it look like? Would you travel? Where would you go? Why do you want to go there? Have you considered making a bucket list of places that you want to go and you want to be with your family or whoever it is that you're going to be with? How would your day-to-day life be different? What would a typical day look like for you? Would you sleep in? Would you still wake up early? What would your day look like? How would your most courageous self show up to life differently? If you were that person that you're pushing to be strong, confident, independent, driven, focused, whatever those words are for you, if you were all of those things, how would you live your life? How would that look different than the way that you live right this minute? How would you speak to yourself? Would you speak to yourself differently than you do right now? All of those things are going to help us to create and manifest the person that we want to become. Okay? So once you've answered those questions and you've really asked yourself why, you guys, this can't be a surface, like it's like peeling back the layers of an onion. It can't just be a generic answer to drive you. Like you can go through, if you want to just go through the motions, that's perfectly fine, because then you check it off of your list and you say it's done. But I will tell you right now, it is not going to motivate you or inspire you to show up for yourself, to show up for this business, to show up for your team, and to push for those goals that you put on that vision board, if you're just doing it just to mark it off your to-do list. So really think about why. Why do you want that? What emotions does it stir up? Do you want something because it makes you so mad that you don't have it yet? Or are you so happy to have that? You're just so excited to experience that in life. You have to find what works for you. Okay? So moving on to the next set. So then we're going to talk about the different goal categories. Now this is where I literally, in each category, I wrote them all out. And then I wrote just things that I wanted to achieve in each category. So you want to break your goals down, because we have business goals, we have personal goals, and we need to make sure that, again, all of those are aligning with the 3 things that we are prioritizing in our life that we started at the beginning. Okay? So one is your spiritual goals, your health goals, financial, career, family, romance, personal growth, and experiencing joy. Okay? Then once you've identified what you want to accomplish in each of those areas, we want to make sure that your goal is specific. Do you know exactly what you're working towards? Oh, I want to lose weight. No. How much weight do you want to lose? How do you want to feel? They need to be specific, okay? Is the goal measurable? So are you saying, I will lose 20 pounds in the next 3 months? You need to make sure that you're setting a measure on it. There's a deadline, okay? Is it obtainable? Okay, we're not saying we're going to make 6 figures in 3 months, because that's a little outlandish, okay? And you'd probably burn yourself out really, really bad and be exhausted if you pushed that hard, okay? So is it obtainable, so that you don't feel like you're failing because you're not reaching the strides to reach those goals? So again, 20 pounds in 3 months, not 20 pounds in 2 weeks. Because if we lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it's really not healthy, right? So we want to make sure that it is a realistic goal and we're not setting ourselves up for disappointment and failure. My goal is time bound. So again, that kind of goes along with measurable, but I will say this, put some urgency on that goal, okay? Push yourself outside of your comfort zone enough that it makes you reach for it, right? That you're reaching a little bit higher than you really can't. Like, Have you guys ever heard the analogy or seen where they're like, oh, reach as high as you can, and you put your arms up and you reach for the sky? Everybody do it really quick just to do it, because if you haven't heard this before. So reach as high as you can. Reach to the sky. Now reach a little bit higher. I guarantee all of you were able to get another inch or two when I said reach a little bit higher. That's what we need to do with our goal, right? Not here where I'm comfortable and everything's hunky-dory and I'm pretty sure I can reach it, but I just have to show up for myself. No, because you're not going to show up. You got to push yourself to reach the sky, you guys. So make sure that you're putting a timeline on it and you're pushing yourself outside that comfort zone a little bit to create that sense of urgency. Okay. Are my goals aligning with my top priorities? We already kind of talked about that, but those 3 priorities in your life that we already identified, are you aligning your goals with that? Okay. Because it doesn't make sense that if your priorities, let's say your family is a priority, but then one of your goals is to have like all this alone time and be away from your family all the time. It doesn't really coincide, right? We need alone time and we need to have personal time, but that wouldn't really align with our family being a priority. Okay. Let's see. My goal is written in present tense. So it's so important, and I'm sure many of you have heard this, but it's so important to say, I am, not I will. Okay. I am whatever your goal is. I am strong. I am a 5-star elite coach. I am a confident leader. I am whatever your goal weight is. I am healthy. I am super confident and have tons of energy to keep up with my kids, whatever it is, but saying it in the present tense so that you're already manifesting that person that you're working to become. Okay. And then my goal inspires and excites me. Again, we have to have something that makes us show up. Right? We have to have that fire in our belly. There's something inside of you that brought you to this opportunity, but there's also probably something that underlying is holding you back or is a fear or hesitation. No more, you guys. No more. We're changing the story that we're telling ourselves, and we're going for those goals that light that fire inside of us, that we get a little nervous about when we think about it. Okay? So once you've gone through all of those questions, you've identified if they're obtainable, you've put some dates on them, you've made sure that they're measurable, they have some urgency, they're specific and they align with your priorities in life, then we're going to go to create our vision board. Now, I have a vision board in here that I literally got like a foam board and cut out pictures and all kinds of stuff and got like kind of crafty. Not sure how that ever happened because I literally have 0 time ever, but it did 2 years ago, and it hung in my office so that every day I walked through my office, I would see it. This year, I actually created it on Canva. So there are 2 apps that you can use that I specifically know of. There's PicMonkey, and then there's also Canva. I use Canva because I'm more familiar with Canva and use that more often. So this is my vision board, and this is what I sent to Meg, and I'm going to share it in my team. I have it as the screensaver on my computer, and I also put it as the screensaver on my phone. And I will be 100% transparent with you. This is the first time I have done a digital version like this and put it in so many places that I have to see it every single day. And multiple times a day because I touch my phone several times a day. So every time I open my phone, I'm going to be seeing and manifesting all of these things that you see in front of you. And you can see that there are deadlines. Like I have 2-star diamond by 3/19/19, 5-star diamond by 9/19/19. I'm going to do the Beachbody Classic at Summit this year. So I have that date there. Putting a timeline on all of your things and really getting specific about what you're working towards. And you can see it's not all business, right? This is not all business because my life is not all business. But I do have some pretty big goals for our team this year. So I'm going to stop the screen share because I see that there are some people who are commenting. So Leanne said, and that's why we hop on these calls too, to push us a little bit further. I print mine out. She printed hers out and have it in her office right by her bed and on her refrigerator. Yeah. So it's a way for us to remember on those days that life hits us, we're tired, we maybe want to eat that cookie instead of choosing the snack that we had prepared or whatever, that you're working towards a goal. And not that we have to be perfect all the time, but you guys, most of our steps need to be in the direction towards our goals to reach them, right? And not taking like one step forward, a half a step back, one step forward, a half a step back, one step forward, two steps back. Because then what starts to happen is you get frustrated and you start to fall off, and then you start taking more steps backward than you are forward. And then what starts to happen really quickly? Fear, doubt, hesitation, negative talk, manifesting that I suck at life, I can't do this, I always give up, I can't follow through. And then you're right back where you started again, right? So use this as a tool to inspire you daily. You guys, just like with our workouts, we're not always motivated to show up to coach. We're not always motivated to push ourselves out of our comfort zone to work our business, right? There are days that we don't want to show up. But there are also goals that we want to reach. And sometimes we just have to stay disciplined and show up and make it happen. That's all I have. So if you guys have any questions at all, you're more than welcome to unmute yourselves. Leanne, if you have anything to add, Mama.
Not too much. So I like Canva because a lot of my goals cover like year to year. So I just pulled up my 2018 and then updated. And so I have that template and then like move things around. But like I said in the thing, I print out multiple copies of this. I don't have it on my phone just because I did that the one time and it got too crazy. But I have to figure out how to get it on my screen. But printing it out and looking at it every single day will make such a difference. It does inspire you to just have it in so many different places. So I definitely recommend that. And don't, like Corey said, do whatever works for you. Don't say, oh, I'm not really familiar with this app or whatever, and so I just can't do it. Like, even if it's just a piece of paper for right now and you cut out things over the next week or 2 weeks, get something done. Don't let the fear of, oh, I can't make this beautiful, perfect, image, so I'm just not going to do it at all. Just do it.
Oh, yeah, you muted yourself quick.
Sorry, Justin just got home from a dinner and Faith's still up. So
oh no, you're
it's gonna be an awesome morning tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just wanted to say, piggybacking off of what Leanne said, don't allow, oh, I don't have time to work my business. I don't have time to do this. You guys, you have to create some sort of plan, or you're just going to be flying by the seat of your pants. And then you're like, it feels good to check things off your to-do list and like accomplish things, right? So when you have a plan for your business and for your year and for your personal goals, it feels good to say, I hit that 10-pound weight loss. I hit that 20-pound weight loss. I hit choosing a healthier option. Or when we went out to dinner, I didn't have any alcohol and I chose a salad instead of a burger, beer, and fries. Like, it feels good to take those steps forward. But if we don't have a vision for what we're working towards, then there's not that encouragement, or that's where the motivation comes from. Like, everybody's like, how do you stay motivated? It's because you have to keep working towards something. Like, you can't go stagnant and just say, oh, well, I'm here. Because then we never grow. We never push outside of our comfort zone. Okay. So do this. Does anybody have any questions before we wrap up for tonight? No, none at all. Any thoughts? Doesn't have to be a question, just any thoughts or anything? No? No? Okay, so take the time. Do this. Do the questions. I put the file in both my team page and in Leanne's team page. So print it off. go through the questions, take some time when the baby is sleeping or you are home alone or whatever, and sit down with quiet time, go through the questions. I literally answered those questions in about 20 to 30 minutes. And then it took me about another 20 to 30 minutes to create my, Google the images that I wanted to use to inspire me and put it together on Canva. It might take you a little bit longer if you're not familiar with using the app and you're doing it that way, but don't let that stop you. Like, create the plan and make sure you get it done this week. Like, we're already on day 6 of January. So don't let another whole week go by before you create a plan for your year. Okay. So create that plan, share it in the team pages, share it with Leanne, share it with myself, share it with your success partner, and let's get focused and manifest the people we are growing to become this year. Okay. All right, cool. Just do it. Right. All right, you guys, you're awesome. I appreciate you all being on this call. I know it is a Sunday evening, but we're going to try and keep them super quick and short and to the point so we can get in and out. If you need anything or have any questions this week, let us know. Let's rock this week out, and I'll talk with y'all later. Good night.